This program is brought to you as a community service of BAF Insurance. The views, opinions, and advice expressed by guests on this show are those of the guests and do not reflect the views, opinions, and advice of BAF Insurance. For medical advice, please visit your medical professional.
Your health, your wealth, your health, your wealth, your health for life. Your Health, Your Wealth is brought to you by BAF Insurance. Your health, our priority.
Welcome to Your Health, Your Wealth with Desiree and Chuck on Bobo Radio. Thank you for tuning in this morning. And for the next hour, we'll be sharing health tips and talking to our very special guests.
Welcome, everyone, to Your Health, Your Wealth, brought to you by BAF Insurance. Your Health, Your Wealth airs every Wednesday from 6:30 to 7:30 a.m., right here on 89.1 FM, Bobo Radio. So, remember to tune in each week and tell a friend. You can also catch the shows you missed on YouTube on the Be Well, Be Healthy for Life channel. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.
Mother's Day is coming up this weekend, and we thought it would be nice for a special program with two mothers.
So we're going to have mothers in here today. One is a older mother, and then one is like a younger mother. And I'm sure that their experiences in raising their children are quite different, considering the first mother, the older mother, started raising a child back in 1969, and the other person started raising a child like another 30-something years after that. Of course, the role of mothers, parents on a whole, but mothers especially, have a lot to do with children.
One of the things I definitely want to point out is how much mothering style has changed. Raising a child has changed so much in 10 years versus 20 years versus 30 years due to societal changes. So that would be one of the things that I would definitely want to talk to our two visiting mothers about, just what they see as a whole over their time frame of life, and also raising children in this day and age. What does it consist of? And just some tips that others can use to be productive members in society as we see fit in the Cayman Islands.
Okay, so let's introduce our first guest. The first guest is Miss Legora Piercy. She has 6 children. Miss Legora, what are the ages of those children?
The eldest is 53 years old, and the youngest is 37.
Okay, do you have, how many girls and how many boys do you have?
I have 3 girls and 3 boys.
When you were raising your children, were there things that you considered like gender specific, like were the boys the only ones that had to rake the yard, or were the boys the only ones that had to cut the grass, or were the boys the only ones that had to take the garbage out, or how did you split daily chores? How did you organize the housework and the upkeep and everything else, teaching your children to be responsible?
I thought that girls and the boys needed to learn the same chores, because if they had to take care of themselves, they needed to know things that the boys knew, and the girls needed to know things like the boys, and the boys like the girls. So we did, we took turns, like for instance, cleaning the bathroom. It took turns in doing that. Their beds had to be spread by them, and their room had to be kept clean. Each person keep their side of the room clean.
As a mother and raising your children, were there a lot of like extracurricular activities once they got to school age that you actually had to help out with, or to have them attend, or how did that work? What was it like getting everybody dressed to go to church, or to go to like a function, or how did that work out?
Well, on Sabbath morning, to get dressed to go to church, first of all, I got them up and they had their breakfast, and they got their shower or their bath, and then they got their breakfast, and then after that they got dressed. When I had to get them dressed, I got them all dressed, and then I sat them down and they listened to stories, and until I was dressed, and then we would leave out go to church.
You mentioned them having their breakfast. Was it a case where a child would complain and says, "Oh well, I don't eat this today, and I don't eat this, and can I have this?" What were the choices? Was there was there an a la carte, or was it very specific?
Whatever I put on the table, everybody needed to eat. On Sabbath morning, at first I used to make a big breakfast, but then afterwards, because of being so many children and too much to do and then get dressed to go to church, what I would do is get dry cereal, banana, and milk, and everybody had that. Well, they enjoy that because, children likes more or less junk food. So
it sounds like you had a very kind of assembly line setup because you had, of course, kids of different range. So I guess starting with the older kids kind of helped down to the younger kids as you kind of got them moving in order. So if you set out everything, everyone had a kind of okay, we'll start with this way, and the younger kids took longer to eat. So you kind of sped up with the older ones doing multiple things.
Well, I'm not sure. I don't really remember having any difference in between. I just sat them all at the table,
Mm-hmm.
and they all had, if I was not doing something, I would sit with them. Some of them did not like to eat or talk too much, and then, I would have to say, well, stop talking and finish eating. It's time to get dressed to go to church.
Did you go out and have a job, or you stayed at home and took care of the children in the home?
Yes, I was a stay-at-home mom for quite a while. And then I started working at nights at the hospital. But that did not work out because during the day I had all the chores to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I did not work for too long.
What were the methods of discipline that you employed? Like if your children didn't come home on time after school, or they didn't complete an assignment, or you got a bad report from school, what kind of discipline, how did you discipline them? Did you actually use corporal punishment as well? In saying corporal punishment, let's say, did you spank them? Did you have a belt? I mean, what did you do? Because I know a lot of parents from that era believed in corporal punishment.
Well, I always had a belt around my neck, but I seldom used it. I talk a lot. I remember my mother saying, you talk too much, you need to have action sometimes. With the homework, for instance, there were a few that gave me problem with homeworks. Some of them did their homework and I had no problem with them, but I just more or less spoke to them. I didn't whip them for that, not doing the homework, because I fancy that would even make it worse, just so I spoke to them, and I tried to be calm myself and try to find ways of helping them do better.
Miss Lee, you actually have grandchildren now, and your grandchildren now have children of their own. So you have great grandchildren now, and I'm sure that when they come around, they have like cell phones and tablets. What do you think about the access that they have to these modes of technology or means of technology?
I think these technology is just ruining the children. They don't have time to sit down and think for themselves. They don't work for themselves. They're always on the phone. When they come over to my house, well, when they used to come over as smaller, I would take that away from them, give them something to do, or read them a story, or let them play, or something like that. But I never agree with these technologies because I don't think they are very good for them.
If you wanted to give some advice to young mothers about balancing the role of being a mother and also having to balance work and taking care of themselves, is there anything that comes to mind, any statement that you'd like to make in that regard?
First of all, I think children need to be disciplined more these days, and not the parents give in a lot with their children, they whatever the children wants, and most of the time they are being babysat with the television or the phone or something. I don't think that is right. Now, my advice would be when the child or children come home from school, they need to have something to do. Well, like for instance, in my days, when they came home, they took a bath and then they sat down to eat. And then after that, they had to do their homework. And after their homework, then they could play a bit or do whatever. And then it was time to have worship, to go to bed. These days, the mothers, a lot of the mothers are not home with their children. The children come home and they have their key, they come in and they probably do as they please. I think somebody should be there to supervise the children, because children, they can go the wrong way without even thinking.
I wanted to ask, and maybe Des can help me with this one. Because of work-related loads in a lot of, and once again, folks, if you're just tuning in, we're not saying, we're trying to talk and have an honest conversation. So when you hear things, don't take it personal. Divorce has been a factor of I want to call it modern family in a lot of cases, single family homes. So one parent, father or mother, whoever is the caregiver for the child, is spending a lot of time at work and not able to be, as you said, in the home when the child gets in. You have different other caretakers, or the child is self-care. Do you think that has become a big factor in what we see as kind of the problems within our younger kids today?
Yes. And a lot of the parents, when they are divorced, sometimes the child's mother is not the same mother that was birthed. And the father is not the same father. And sometimes they are treated differently, especially if there are two sets of children. And I don't think that should be. If you are going to get married again, you need to come to the understanding that your children need to be treated the right way.
Yeah, there's no stepchildren, there's
Right.
no half brothers. It's just one family.
Family.
Understandable.
It sounds like, as if in this day and age, I guess what you would say that we're lacking is a lot of structure and a lot of discipline, is basically what it boils down to.
I think that that's when we grew up, we used to say you had one family, and even if it was church, you were still one family.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it was another household that was very close to you, it was still one family. So I think we have gotten away from that during these modern times, and also technology plays a huge, before, if you wanted information, you went to the library, you went and got an encyclopedia, you got a dictionary. Now your phone and your
Google.
tablet.
Yep.
So you don't have to look and know how things worked anymore. You just type it in or say it
And get the
answer.
answer.
Which means you don't work for information anymore.
Yeah.
Before, studying meant, hey, I needed to look up a word to
Yeah.
find out what that word meant.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you read books. It's a rarity to have a child read 10 books a year.
I know.
And I know people who used to read 10 books in a month.
Yeah.
And growing up, that was,
Yeah.
you picked up 10
Because there was
books.
no television to watch, and there was no handheld games, and there was no cell phone, and no WhatsApp and Snapchat.
I think we as a society, and Miss Lee can help me with this, we have lost time. And when I say lost time, before, when you got home, it felt like a long time before you went to bed, because you had so much structure. You did certain things. Now they turn on the TV, and before it's 10 o'clock at night, where did that time go? They're sitting down being entertained rather than doing things. What's your thoughts on that, Miss Lee?
Yeah, I never had a television when my children were growing up, and I still don't. I don't believe in children sitting in front of the TV. I believe in in them learning for themselves. Like I tell my grandchildren, these people are making money off of you. You need to learn something to make some money yourself. You know, you don't need to just sit there and listen and not have any thoughts for yourself. You know, and that's satanic as far as I'm concerned. Satan uses these things to attract the children. And then when he have them so, what you say, yeah, he messes their mind up, and then they don't want to think for themselves, and they want to be following the
crowd.
This person or that person. I always told my children, the crowd are always wrong, or most of the time wrong. Be an individual and follow the right thing. But, you know, these days it's very hard for children to follow what is right.
Very, very true.
Well, thank you, Miss Legora Piercy, for being in here with us and sitting down with us and having a conversation about motherhood and what the challenges have been like. Again, this episode is all about mothers, and because, you know, Mother's Day is coming up on the weekend.
Exactly. If you're just tuning in, you're tuned in to another episode of Your Health, Your Wealth. My name is Chuck Taylor, and I'm here with Miss Desiree. And you know what? Let's go talk to another person who has great information about that. None other than our Be Well, Be Healthy superstar, Lady K.
This Be Well, Be Healthy episode is all about self-care and caring for mothers. Spa treatments are among the most popular gifts for Mother's Day. But did you know that apart from just feeling relaxed, there are real health benefits to massages? Listen as Lady K talks about massages and spa therapies for moms.
Your health, your wealth, your health, your wealth, your health for life. Your Health, Your Wealth is brought to you by BAF Insurance. Your health, our priority.
Today on Be Well, Be Healthy for Life, Lady K, your wellness coach, takes a look at massage therapy.
Mothers are the focus of our attention at this time of year, and a spa day is a popular Mother's Day gift. But did you know that spa treatments such as massages can be more than just relaxing and a spa day out for the ladies? Massages and other popular therapies can be very healing to your body as well as your mind. There is more medical science involved in massage therapy than you can imagine. It's not just someone giving you a feel-good back rub. A trained and licensed massage therapist studies anatomy, physiology, body mechanics, and medical terminology, so he or she understands how the body works. This is important to knowing techniques to treat areas of concern. Massages can reduce stress, increase relaxation, reduce pain, relieve muscle soreness and tension, while improving blood circulation, energy, and alertness. A massage may also lower your heart rate and blood pressure, improving immune function, and increasing your flexibility and your range of motion. There are several different types of massage, and although Swedish or Western massages are the most popular and are standard for the relaxing massage, there are other massage therapies that may be helpful for your needs. Rehabilitative massages, such as sports and medical massages, focus on healing specific injuries. Shiatsu massage can involve a therapist using their knuckles, their elbows, and even knees to unblock energy flow or chi. Shiatsu practitioners believe that illnesses are a result of the disruption of chi, and shiatsu reopens blocked pathways or rebalances chi flow, resulting in improved circulation and energy flow within the body. Deep tissue massages target the deep layers of muscle and the surrounding tissue. Deep tissue massages are not for everyone. Therefore, it's important to discuss any medical conditions you may have with your massage therapist before getting on the table for a deep tissue massage. Massages are meant to heal, not hurt. Other types of massages include trigger point massages that aim to release small tension knots, percussion massage using a massage gun, and Thai massages that uses gentle pressure and stretching to achieve healing. Your local spa may also offer aromatherapy massages using aromatic oils to achieve mental and physical well-being, or my favorite, hot stone massage to relieve pain, or cold stone therapies to soothe the skin or swollen blood vessels. On an average, women get more massages than men, and a spa day or just a massage gift certificate is a common Mother's Day gift. But getting regular massages is good for all genders and all ages. So, gentlemen, when you're buying that gift certificate for Mother's Day or birthday or anniversary for the special person in your life, get yourself one as well. A good massage will help you sleep better, think more clearly, and relieve your stress. Happy Mother's Day to all the ladies from all of us here at Be Well, Be Healthy for Life.
Be Well, Be Healthy for Life is brought to you by BAF Global Group. Remember, always consult your doctor before starting any new health and wellness regimen. BAF Global Group offers life, health, and general insurance plus a full suite of financial solutions in the Bahamas, life insurance in the Turks and Caicos Islands, and affordable individual and group health insurance in the Cayman Islands. Visit us at mybafsolutions.com.
Your health, your wealth, your health, your wealth, your health for life. Your health, your wealth is brought to you by BAF Insurance. Your health, our priority.
If you're just joining us, you're listening to Your Health, Your Wealth with Desiree and Chuck on Bobo Radio. We're here with you until 7:30 with a host of health tips and information, as well as a special guest to help you and your loved ones live healthier, happier lives.
And remember, the Be Well, Be Healthy for Life podcast with Lady K is also sponsored by BAF Global Group and can be found on YouTube, Spotify, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Podcast Addict, and Podbean podcast platforms. Her episodes are released weekly on the BAF Facebook page as well.
Okay, what do you plan to give to your mom for our Mother's Day, Chuck?
You know, I've been debating that. So I think we're going to do a little staycation.
Okay.
But this one is kind of all the family getting together and do
Sounds
that.
good, yeah.
Yeah, because we don't get to see each other too much, so it's kind of nice to do that. And now that we have technology on our side,
Yeah.
when someone do a staycation, we kind of get the whole family in for like an hour or two and just trade stories
Yes,
about that. So
yes.
it's pretty good in that aspect.
Okay.
Your health, your wealth, your health, your wealth, your health for life. Your health, your wealth is brought to you by BAF Insurance. Your health, our priority.
Hey, Des, do you know what time it is?
What time is it?
It's that time when we reach out to one of our wonderful representatives from BAF, and they tell us in 3 minutes all the wonderful things about the company.
Who do we have this morning?
We have Miss Ann this morning, one of your colleagues.
And she only has 3 minutes, right?
Only 3 minutes.
First question. What do you do at BAF Insurance?
I am the supervisor at BAF Insurance. I manage the daily administrative function and customer service.
If you could choose one thing that makes BAF stand out from the other insurance companies for your clients, what would that one thing be?
We provide exceptional customer service to all our clients, irrespective of the level of service required.
When someone applies for health insurance with BAF, how long does it take for them to be approved and for the insurance to become effective?
Our turnaround time for approval is 3 to 5 business days. If the policy is approved between the 1st to the 15th of the month, the policy becomes effective the 1st of that month. If it's after the 15th, then it becomes effective the 1st of the following month.
So tell me a little bit now about the claims process. If I have a BAF health insurance plan and I make a claim, how quickly can I expect to have my claim settled?
The turnaround time for claim settlement is 3 to 5 business days, provided that the claim form is filled out with the correct information. We also have an online portal through which providers can submit their claims, which help to make the process a lot more efficient.
And Miss Ann, if someone wanted to get in contact with you, how would they be able to do that?
You can call us at 949-5089, or my direct number is 814-2522.
Great. Time's up, Ann. If you're just joining us, you're listening to Your Health, Your Wealth with Desiree and Chuck on Bobo Radio. We're here with you until 7:30 a.m. with a host of health tips and information, as well as a special guest to help you and your loved ones live healthier, happier lives.
Your health, your wealth, your health, your wealth, your health for life. Your Health, Your Wealth is brought to you by BAF Insurance. Your health, our priority.
I am Desiree, co-host of Your Health, Your Wealth. I'll be with you every Wednesday from 6:30 to 7:30 a.m. Your Health, Your Wealth is brought to you by BAF Insurance as a community service because at BAF, your health is our priority. Remember to stay on top of your regular health checkups because, as always, the more you know about your health, the easier it will be for you to stay healthy.
And remember also, if you missed the first half of the program, you can always catch up to what you missed on the Be Well, Be Healthy for Life YouTube channel or on a number of podcast platforms, including Spotify, Podcast Addict, and iHeartRadio. Just look for the Be Well, Be Healthy for Life on all these platforms and remember to subscribe.
Your health, your wealth, your health, your wealth, your health for life. Your Health, Your Wealth is brought to you by BAF Insurance. Your health, our priority.
It's time for us to welcome another Mother to our show.
As we continue celebrating our Mother's Day show, Des, you're a mom.
I am.
Yes, and I've never interviewed you before.
Well, I guess today's going to be the day, right?
I think that sounds like a plan. So, how many kids do you have?
I have 3 children.
3 kids. Okay, excellent. How many boys? How many girls?
3 girls.
3. So no boys at all.
No boys.
Wow. So, okay, household of women must have been the dynamics is a little bit strange. Were you your mom when you had after your first child? Because you know how they say after your first child you become your parents' parent.
I was definitely not my mom.
You was definitely not your mom.
Not my mom. My eldest child is 35 and the youngest one is 21. So there's a bit of a gap between those two as well. But I was not my mom because I felt that somehow I could have improved on parenting, the discipline that she gave me. So I tried to go the easy way. And in the end, it really didn't work out.
Because you still end up being harsh.
No, I just made a lot of bad decisions.
but you know, the funny thing about this is there is no manual on how to parent.
Yeah, and unfortunately, you wish there was, because now I have 3 children who are 3 individuals, like totally different personalities, each one. So I have to relate to each of them in a different way.
And do you find that because of your children's personality when they were younger, it dictated how you spoke, disciplined, and even kind of motherly kind of dealt with them?
I'm not much of a disciplinarian.
Okay.
But as a mother, yeah, as as a nurturer, yeah, it was different because of their different personalities. So I kind of tend to be one of those persons who would say that even though people claim that they don't have favorites, I don't think it's that you have favorites, but I think that in parenting different personalities, you're drawn more to another personality in a certain instance.
Okay.
Like if you're having a bad day, there's one of those 3 that you can call that can relate to what's going on and can have a conversation. The other 2 probably wouldn't be that interested. So it causes you to have at least you have variable dynamics of who to call when certain things happen.
Okay.
Right?
And
that makes it interesting.
That's one of the things that I really want to kind of talk about, because that means that you had to balance work and home, and also homework and also I want to say stressful situations between your children. So what was stressful to one wasn't stressful for another one. And they say, why are you dealing with her this way? You never dealt with me. Did you find that when they were younger and growing up?
Yeah, I definitely did because not all three children like school as much as the other. So for the one that liked school, I never really had to motivate that child to like do homework on time or get up and be present for school. For the other ones, it was more of a challenge because they weren't that interested in being in school. So I had to find ways of understanding it and at the same time not ever comparing your children. So you definitely never compare them because they're all different. So you can't look at one and say, oh, because every person has different strengths that serve different purposes. So,
Exactly. And normally 3 kids. Wow. So sickness time, did you kind of everyone rolled into one sickness or one was more resilient than the other? Because coming from a small family, and a small family is 1, to kind of 3 kids is a bigger household family. So how did you deal with being sick?
well, luckily for me, I had to deal with work, but at home I had a really good like a good care little like a caregiver for the children that was there, and she was almost like family. So it wasn't as challenging as other people probably would have found it because if they had to miss school, she was already in the home
Okay.
living with us. And if it was summertime or if it was the time when I couldn't take off of work or be off of work and they were sick, she would also be there with them and even accompany me to the hospital with them, to the clinics or whatever. So I had help.
There was a good extended family network.
Yes, there was.
Do you find that this is something that kind of sets us apart from our older generation? Because the older generation
Did everything themselves.
Yes.
And somehow managed to keep everything afloat.
They literally, as you said, there wasn't that extended, and even a lot of the word daycare was unheard of for that generation.
Right.
And even caregivers and caretakers and live-in help and family, extended family living in and things like that.
No.
Do you find that this generation has that different from the older previous generation?
Well, my generation, our generation, Gerald, we have it different because we will accept having someone come into the home and live with us to help us out. But I guess back in those times, two things were different. That a lot of times, even like in my mom's case, like a lot of times my dad was at sea when she had the first 3 children. So she was basically on her own, and then there were times when her mom would come and help her, come from overseas.
Right.
But other than that, it was very difficult. But now we have people that have daycares. We have people that have people that you can afford to have come into your home every day, come in early, leave late. Or even in my case, have someone live there.
Right. Exactly. Wow. And let's talk a little bit about social media. We have watched the expansion of it in this generation. Before, getting information was either newspapers or radio, television. Now you have the internet and you have various parts of the internet giving you so much information, making the kids grow faster than ever. Has this been a case? Because you obviously have older children, so you still had that to deal with at the infancy.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that.
But to be honest with you, I didn't have any outstanding problems with my children overusing the internet or posting things that they shouldn't post. I really didn't have that issue, so I guess I just ended up not having that issue. And right now, even as adults, they don't go on social media and do a lot of posting. I'm sure they all have accounts. I'm sure they follow people or other persons, whoever they're interested in. But for someone for me to ever look and see there's some kind of a crazy post. But then again too, Chuck, I think that having the internet, when it started getting popular and whatever, it was such a help to parents. Because remember before, when we had projects for school, we had to go to the library or you had to go to someone's house that had an encyclopedia. You had to handwrite all of that stuff. You had to get it looking good. You had to do, it was a lot of work. And then your parents Poor them. They come home from work and they had to help you. Well, now your kids can kind of do it on their own, and they
Right.
can print off whatever they need to print off, and they can copy and paste, and they can. And to me, so I guess the social media and the internet and all the techie stuff, it serves a purpose. Either way, it's just see some people just kind of, I guess, get out of control and kind of abuse it. But
Okay.
you know,
Understandable. You said earlier that you weren't much of a disciplinarian. With that, kind of a softie with it.
I never believed in using a belt on my kids. Like,
Corporate.
corporal punishment.
Yeah.
Never believed in it.
Okay.
Ever. So I never ever used it. I most of the time just me giving them a good look or saying what I had to say,
the
whatever.
mother's eye.
Yeah, or they knew that I hadn't taken my crazy pills. They would kind of calm down. Everything would be okay. But for the most part, I really didn't have that many disciplinary problems with them either. You know.
Okay. What advice would you give? Because I think that in this day and age is very critical for people to hear, and that opens up the door for healthier relationships. I
And
think
conversations
in
as well.
conversation.
Yeah.
What would you tell to somebody who is teetering on that borderline of should I take the talk route or the belt route? Because basically that's kind of what it is. What would you tell somebody who's listening to you right now?
So anybody who is a parent or who is thinking of becoming a parent, I think the best thing ever is to get to know your child for the person that they are, the person that you birthed, gave life to you. And just get to know that person and realize that the person may not be exactly like you, but you have to accept them exactly where they are. Of course, you need to stare them at times and give them a little pressure or whatever, but I don't think that you have to overhandle it to get the best results. I think the best results come from, like some kind of structure within the home and whatever else. But at the same time, recognize the child for whoever that child is. Get to know your child. Like, have a conversation with the child. Find out who their friends are. Find out what they really like. Find out what kind of music they like listening to. Find out, do they like art? Don't they like art? Would they like to join an after-school club? Find out what their interests are, because sometimes we don't have these conversations with our children. So we have no clue what they like and what they don't like.
Understandable. Well, Des, thank you so much for letting me and our listeners into your world as a mom, and a happy Mother's Day when it comes.
Thank you, and thanks for having me as a guest on the show.
We'll be right back here to Your Health, Your Wealth. Compliments to our friends over there at BAF Insurance.
Your health, your wealth, your health, your wealth, your health for life. Your Health, Your Wealth is brought to you by BAF Insurance. Your health, our priority.
It's time to welcome back Lady K, your wellness coach, to talk about something we all need to know about here in the Cayman Islands. Summer is coming, and cooling off in a pool or the beach is a part of life. And since very often it's the moms chilling at the beach or by the pool with the children, it's the perfect time for some tips for keeping your children water safe over the summer. You can check out Lady K on her Be Well, Be Healthy for Life YouTube channel. Her podcast, Be Well, Be Healthy for Life, is sponsored by BAF Global Group, and episodes are released weekly on the BAF Facebook page as well as on Spotify, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Podcast, and Podbean. Over to you, Lady K.
Today on Be Well, Be Healthy for Life, Lady K, your wellness coach, talks about summer water safety for children.
It's summer, and between summer camps, family trips, and just general recreation, children will spend a lot of time in the water. Whether at the beach or the pool, water safety is important and well worth mentioning. And now is a good time to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. Hit the notification bell also so you know when we have new episodes that have been uploaded. The first rule of water safety is to make sure your child knows never to go near or enter water alone, even if he or she is an excellent swimmer. Teach them to always have a swimming partner, or at the very least, an adult who can swim within easy reach. Even great swimmers can get into difficulty and need help. It can take only a second for a child to get into trouble in a swimming pool or at the beach. And once that happens and the panic sets in, the results can be terrifying and often fatal. Adults, please remember that it's important to not just be present, but to keep an eye on your children while in the water. Again, it only takes a second for a fun swim to become deadly. And if you're caught up on your phone, your other mobile device, it can be too late by the time you notice that your child needs help. If you have a pool at home, prevent unsupervised access by installing barriers around the pool or a hot tub, and never leave pool toys in the water. Children may be tempted to reach in for those toys and accidentally fall in. Despite living on an island, many Caribbean children either do not know how to swim or are simply not proficient. So life vests and arm floaters should be a part of your water arsenal. Pool noodles can be fun and act as flotation devices that children can use if they get tired while swimming. It's also a good idea to have a lifeguard ring or two hanging off the edge of your pool at all times for easy access. For families that live near lakes and ponds, the same is true. Erect fences or other barriers to keep children away and be very vigilant. Don't be afraid to explain to your children why you're instructing them to stay away. Their natural curiosity is going to draw them to the water, so be candid. Tell them the truth and avoid using the "because I said so" response. Teach children not to run around or to engage in horseplay at the poolside. Pool decks can be slippery, and accidents ranging from falling in, slipping and hitting one's head happen all too frequently. Jumping on top of a friend or belly flopping and diving can all lead to injuries, especially in shallow pools. So teach them how to respect the water and to enjoy it safely. And while we're on the subject of water, remember, water is still the very best way to stay hydrated. Each year, hundreds of people, children included, suffer heat strokes and the effects of dehydration from the high temperature and the humidity of our climate. Teach your children to always have water with them and explain that the sugary drinks, while they're fun and they're tasty, are not the best way to stay cool and hydrated. Sugary drinks actually make them thirstier. So choose water or even low sugar energy drinks that replace electrolytes and potassium that they lose in their sweat. Finally, the most important thing you can do to keep your child water safe this summer is to teach them how to swim if they can't. It's the best defense against water fatalities. And the best thing you can do as a supervising adult is to learn CPR. In the best of times, under the best circumstances, CPR can save a life. Be prepared and enjoy the summer water fun.
Be Well, Be Healthy for Life is brought to you by BAF Global Group. Remember, always consult your doctor before starting any new health and wellness regimen. BAF Global Group offers life, health, and general insurance, plus a full suite of financial solutions in the Bahamas, life insurance in the Turks and Caicos Islands, and affordable individual and group health insurance in the Cayman Islands. Visit us at mybafsolutions.com.
Your health, your wealth, your health, your wealth, your health for life. Your Health, Your Wealth is brought to you by BAF Insurance. Your health, our priority.
Thank you so much, Lady K, for your tips about being safe in time for our summer and wet weather, and also just jumping in the pool and heading to the sea as often as we do here in Cayman. It's always great to be reminded about these information. And remember, the Be Well, Be Healthy for Life podcast with Lady K is also sponsored by BAF Global Group and can be found on YouTube, Spotify, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Podcast Addict, and Podbean podcast platforms. Her episodes are released weekly on the BAF Facebook page as well.
Your health, your wealth, your health, your wealth, your health for life. Your Health, Your Wealth is brought to you by BAF Insurance. Your health, our priority.
Hey, Des, do you know what time it is?
What time is it?
I would like to welcome her to the studio, Ms. Sharon Spencer of BAF Insurance. So with that being said, we got 3 minutes, Ms. Sharon. Now, I know this may be like rapid, but we got 3 minutes to answer as many questions as you can about the wonderful company and what they have to offer.
And she only has 3 minutes, right?
Only 3 minutes. So the first question, let the timer start right now. How long has it been that you've been with BAF?
I have been with BAF for the past 15 years.
Wow, that's incredible. So you literally know everything there is to know about the company.
I believe so.
Okay. All right. With that being said, now, if you could choose one thing at BAF that stands out from all the other insurance companies for your client, what would that one thing be?
We have been in this service, serving the Caribbean, for over 100 years. So we have over 100 years of experience.
That gives me a certain amount of pride knowing that this company has been around for that long and also serving the community. And serving the community through the difficult and through the fatter times in life. And of course, you know, right now we've been going through some very lean and very thoughtful. Give me a little bit of information about your health plans over there at BAF.
Well, we have individual health as well as group health. So whether you're an individual consumer or a member of your company's health insurance group, choosing BAF means putting your confidence in us to provide the highest quality health insurance plans with the highest impact on your pocket and member support services that meet all your exact requirements.
And so one of the things that I would ask if I was just hearing about the company and I wanted to take it to my HR manager, and I'm like, what are the benefits of moving to such a wonderful healthcare plan? Because, you know, in this day and age, everybody's always looking for a more amicable situation.
Chuck, BAF is a specialist in the management of employee benefits. Together with our global network of partners, we have designed a best-in-breed solutions to manage employees' benefits, putting excellent employee service and employer cost reduction at the heart of everything we do. Wow. We have dedicated and knowledgeable local staff, streamlined and state-of-the-art administrative capabilities, supported by highly rated global reinsurance partners, access care in the USA via United Healthcare, the world's largest health insurer.
Wow.
Time's up.
Time's up. So before we get out of here, let me just ask one last thing. Give me your contact details for any one of the listeners out there that want to get in contact with you.
You can contact Sharon Spencer at 327-8747 or 814-2542.
Thank you so much, Ms. Sharon. We'll be right back. Thank you for tuning in to Your Health, Your Wealth right here on Bobo 89.1 FM.
Your health, your wealth, your health, your wealth, your health for life. Your Health, Your Wealth is brought to you by BAF Insurance. Your health, our priority.
Well, that's our show. Thanks to our guest, Legora Piercy, who took the time to share mothering tips with our listeners.
And also thanks to you, Desiree.
Lady K gave us some valuable information on the benefits of massages and how to keep your young ones water safe this summer. Remember to check out Lady K's videos on the Be Well, Be Healthy for Life channel on YouTube, or if you're a podcast listener, you can find all our episodes on Spotify, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Podcast Addict, or Podbean. Just look for the Be Well, Be Healthy for Life channel.
And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share with your friends. Those videos are life-saving health tips brought to you free by BAF Insurance. The YouTube channel is Be Well, Be Healthy for Life, and you can also catch up on Your Health, Your Wealth shows that you missed at the same time. Until next week, we are Desiree and Chuck, encouraging you to start now to live a healthier, happier life.
This program is brought to you as a community service of BAF Insurance. The views, opinions, and advice expressed by guests on this show are those of the guests and do not reflect the views, opinions, and advice of BAF Insurance. For medical advice, please visit your medical professional.
Your health, your wealth, your health, your wealth, your health for life. Your Health, Your Wealth is brought to you by BAF Insurance. Your health, our priority.